Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Akeem Woods is on the show. How you doing, Akeem?
Woo, hello.
Good to see you.
I'm so sorry.
Man.
I'm so sad I can't be in studio, but I'm here.
It's fine. We just wanted a chance to talk to you. We're so proud of you. I see every time I turn on. I was going to say every time I turn on social media. Jesus Christ, that's how old I am. Every time I go and I look at social media, though, he's with big name celebrity comedian friends. He's at a party. He's trolloping. He's doing this. He's doing that.
Hold on, what's a trollop?
All right. Do you want to tell Tom about your running segment?
Well, Trollop Tales. So basically, my friend Mia Jackson, who's very, very funny, she tours Amy Schumer. She writes on Life and Beth on Hulu. She's great. Anyway, she's older, and she'd give me these crazy insults, but they're like old school insults. So I remember one day I posted like a crazy sex story on Facebook. And then she messaged me and she's like, "You're such a trollop." And I was like, "Mia, I'm 28.
Yeah.
I don't. At the time, I was 28. I'm like, I don't know what that word means.
Yeah.
And then I Googled it, and it means like it's a fancy way of saying a hoe.
Yeah, it's like another one that comes to mind, Akeem, is the word floozy.
Yeah, it's in that same vein.
Yeah, floozy.
So then I just, because alliteration's funny, so I started doing these things called Trollop Tales. And where I would tell a crazy sex story on my Instagram.
And you know what I found out is that it's funny because if you look at the comments, you can see that everyone, and I mean everyone, loves a wild sex story.
Yeah, I'm on episode 32, so there's been a lot.
Yeah, and then like some of the ones that have been more famous have actually been like you're on like Angela Yee's like show, right?
Yeah, I did lip service to Angela Yee. I told one on there, and then I did Horrible Decisions. And I told one on there that went viral on Black Twitter.
Yeah, like, so how did you end up meeting, because I know a lot of people that are younger than me know exactly who Angela is. How do you become like pseudo like friends and you're on I would say one of the most popular broadcasters currently, in popular radio. Now, granted, it is an odd space to be, but how'd you meet Angela, one part of the Breakfast Club?
Yeah, I met her. So I obviously, you guys know I've been touring with Godfrey for like 6 or 7 years now.
Yeah.
And we were in DC at the DC Improv, and Angela and Godfrey have been friends for years. And I was on the show with them. I get off stage, and I go after I sell my merchandise or whatever. I go in the green room, and Angela's just sitting in the green room with Godfrey because like they've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
And as soon as I walked in, she was just like so sweet. She was so nice. She's like, "Oh my God." She's like, "You're so funny. I love your stories. We have to have you on our show." And I've met a lot of famous people who've told me things that are untrue. So I'm like, "Okay, girl, whatever." And we laughed and joked and just had a really good time. And then afterwards, one of her producers took down my information. It was like, "Hey, we're going to reach out to you." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." I didn't think anything of it because celebrities have been telling me stuff like this for years.
Yeah, there's a nicety. Like, oh, we'll have you on the show, but then they
for the record, I'm not a celebrity, and I tell that to everyone I meet. I'm like, we'll have you in, we'll have you in.
Yeah, but we're serious because we just need the content because we're lazy.
I'm just trying to finish this thing up, man.
So out of nowhere, like 2 weeks later, I get a call from her people, and they're like, "Hey, Angela wants to know if you're in town." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'm in town." She's like, "Come by and do the show." So I came by, I did the show, it went great, it was so fun. And then she has her new show, Way Up With Angela Yee, which is also syndicated. And she was like, "Hey, I'm starting this new show. Do you want to co-host a few episodes?" I'm like, "Okay."
Dude.
Didn't think anything of it. Fast forward to like a month later, she gave me her number. So fast forward to a month later, she texted me and she's like, "Hey, are you free on Thursday to come co-host?" I'm like, "Okay." And I've been on that show at least 6 or 7 times. I was just texting her earlier today. I might be on there this week.
That makes me so, like, honestly, man, that makes me so freaking proud of you. Like, as a true radio, like, fan that I am, and, like, wanting to do radio as, like, a little kid and then actually doing it, to see you go from the guy that, basically, you weren't even out of the closet to now you're on, like, some of the biggest broadcasters are having you co-host. That's just super cool, man. It's a really, really
Thanks.
Good. It's like, I mean, that is huge. And is it fun? Do you like the...
Oh, it's so much fun. We always have fun there. Because I don't really talk about topical stuff in my stand-up, really. Most of my stand-up is very, like, personal. I talk about my life. I don't really talk about what's going on.
Sure.
So it is fun to be able to have funny takes and talk about like things that are going on in the zeitgeist that I don't necessarily talk about on stage too often.
Yeah, yeah, and like current events, or like you could bring up. I'm sure maybe you talked about Kendrick and Drake. Like I don't know. I'm just trying to think of things that are like
Yeah.
going on currently that you can do. I mean, it's a different. I think I can hear Tom's, hamster wheel spinning. It is a different skill set for you as a hardworking comedian to sort of add to your bag, right? Like being able
Yeah,
to.
it's fun. It's fun and it comes naturally. And we honestly we have really good chemistry, her and I.
Yeah.
So it's always really fun. I always have fun. Whenever I do her show, whenever I do her podcast, it's always like a lot of fun.
That's killer, man. Well, I don't want
Doing
to.
radio is easy. Let's be honest.
Well, let's make sure to plug your show first too. Before
Okay,
we
sorry.
so you do have a show in town. You the first show is sold out, but you added a
Yes.
second show. Where's your show at?
So the second show, so it's at Chronic Guru, which is in downtown Orlando.
Yeah.
The first show at 8 o'clock is on the 28th, which is next Tuesday, so a week from today. The first show is sold out. It's sold out in like 2 or 3 hours. The second show is selling slow because it's 10 p.m. on a Tuesday,
Yeah.
but I just need y'all to just stay up. I swear it's worth it. I'm doing a whole hour. Just me, and I'm gonna have some guest comics come in. I'm not gonna say who, but I'm gonna have some special guests come in. Tickets are only $15, and just go to my website, which is akeemwoods.com, AKEEM woods.com,
And it's like
and all of
weed.
my tickets are available
And
there.
weed. I feel like you just said the and weed.
They're selling weed.
Yeah, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't
Oh,
need
yeah,
a
there's
medical
weed there,
card.
too.
You just go there and you buy this man's weed.
Hey,
There's weed everywhere.
How'd you get introduced to the guru? I need to meet this guy. I've been seeing him for a long time on my videos.
Now, I don't know if you know this, Akeem, but the gentleman from Chronic Guru, whose name is something like Jimmy, it's a very Irish name. It's like Jimmy.
Yeah, we'll just call him the Guru.
Yeah, the Guru. But
Yeah.
he only advertises, and the reason that Tom and I knew of Chronic Guru is because he's the #1 advertiser locally with Pornhub.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. He's the one who started it.
We've been trying to follow. We wanted to we saw him doing it. And this is
Well,
where
they need to advertise my show on Pornhub, because if you are a porn advocate, you are gonna love my style of comedy.
Well, that's actually, you know what? You bring up something. I don't know if they can turn and burn the commercial that quickly, but that's actually not a bad idea, because if he were putting like an ad for your comedy night at Chronic Guru on Pornhub,
Yeah.
I think it would work.
Yeah.
I think-
how many people are we watching?
I
that?
would watch it. I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh my, Akeem Woods is going to be Chronic Guru. As soon as I'm done
Yeah.
masturbating, I'm going to go
Yeah.
buy tickets.
If you think about it, it's probably the #1 site looked at in frequency rates
Of everybody.
Of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Of the world.
Like every single male listener,
Yeah.
and I'll say male, a lot of female, but mostly male, are going to watch Pornhub
Well,
sometime today.
The chat room is asking, how come Akeem didn't know about it? I'll tell you why. Because Pornhub's ads are geo-fenced, and so whatever you're getting in California is certainly not going to be Chronic Guru, because I
Or New
believe...
York.
I'm in New York.
Or
Yeah.
New York, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, in New York, because you
Yeah,
know...
it's a waste of ad space.
You know, up the road, East Coast in New York, they got their own weed and whatever. Chronic Guru is just a Central Florida guy.
Yeah. So your IP address
Yeah.
is going to dictate what ads you're
But
getting.
it would have worked. I mean, like, that's actually not a bad idea at all. And we have been wanting to interview the guy because it looks really fun.
Yeah.
Supposedly, you can get, like, marijuana drinks, like tonics.
Yeah. Well, you guys know I don't drink or
Yeah.
smoke or anything. I got connected by the show. My buddy Jari, very funny comedian. I've known him forever.
Yeah.
I reached out to him because originally I was supposed to be doing a Pride show in Pensacola the week, like this coming weekend.
Gotcha.
And so I was like, okay, I'll be in Pensacola. I could just I'll fly. I'll do a quick flight to Orlando, do a one-nighter, and then go to Chicago, because I'm in Chicago next week with
Nice.
Ida Rodriguez.
Oh, right on.
And so it was just supposed to be a one-nighter, but then so I hit up Jari, he set it up. So my show in Pensacola got canceled, but they still paid me. And
Nice.
now I'm in Portland with Godfrey, but I'm gonna just do the weekend with Portland and then fly from Portland to Orlando, do the 2 shows, and then the next morning fly to Chicago.
Woo, do you like the road? Do you like burning it like that? Like, that's hard, man.
I'm used to it. I've been on the road for like almost 7 years now. So I quit my job about 7 years ago. So I'm really used to it. I'm like, it is draining, but like I've had crazier schedules, so this is not really a big deal.
Again,
It's only 2 weeks.
has like everything. I mean, we were just talking to Chris Turner. He was joking around about in New York, they went up to a bounce house, and the guy's like $20 for a person per kid to get into this bounce house. And you know, we've been joking around about how expensive things are here in Orlando, and in Florida.
I can't even imagine in New York.
In New York, it's crazy, and like the expense of everything has drastically gone up. But have they started paying comedians more? Have you seen that? Like, because you'd have to be able to even make a living as a comedian, right?
They don't. The comedy pay has been the same for feature comedians. Like if you're opening for somebody, the comedy pay has been the same since I want to say the 80s.
Oh my God!
You just blew my shoes off.
In the 80s.
I'm not even joking.
I will tell you something really sad.
How do you do it?
We make all of our money. The way I make money is from merchandise, like from t-shirts, like when people buy t-shirts on my website, which you can buy at AkeemWoods.com.
Do it.
And when I open for people like Godfrey and Ida and Yamanika and Sam J, I make money from selling t-shirts. So most of my income is from merchandise. And then obviously I'm doing a bunch of Pride gigs and some corporate gigs. And then I've done some TV stuff and blah, 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 blah. And that's where I can make money. And then now I'm starting to make more money because I can sell tickets. Like in certain cities, I can sell tickets, so I'll do a door deal. So I can make money from that, from ticket sales. But as far as like comedy club pay, like if you're not selling tickets and you're just making money to like open for people, or the standard comedy club pay is terrible. Yeah. It's never been good.
Yeah, like I heard, and I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm not a stand-up comedian. We're just podcasters and radio guys. But I heard a story 2 days ago. I was watching a podcast, and they were talking about a really big-name, very popular comedian right now who brought on openers, and he's rich. Let's just say he's top-tier millionaire.
Okay.
Theo Von. Theo Von. And he was paying his openers $100.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, well, I mean,
he said it was Vaughn.
Yeah. People were saying it was Theo Von, but they were saying.
Well,
and I'm like $100. I was like, even we've paid.
But is that his fault, or is that the industry standard?
Correct.
He's just paying the standard?
No, that's his fault. He's a terrible person.
Oh, come on.
And I'm not saying Theo Von's a terrible person because I don't know him personally, and I don't think that's true about him. I know people who open for him and get paid well, but I'm saying if you are a comic and you're selling out a stadium and you're bringing your own opener and you're giving them $100, you're a trash person.
Yeah, you should up it a little bit.
Yeah.
Now they just assumed that it was him. I'm not saying it's him.
If the opener is someone that you don't know and it's someone that the club provided, then that's not your responsibility. But if it's someone that you physically brought with you and you gave them $100, then yeah, you're kind of a terrible person.
Well, what is is there an industry standard where it's like, okay, if you're, let's say, doing a room that's like Hard Rock Live, right?
That's a big room.
3,000, or even, I mean, let's say the Funny Bone, right? Or that standard.
What is that, 500?
And you bring your own opener.
375.
Would you pay them a percentage of the ticket sales? How does that work?
What I would do if I was in that situation is I know what features make. So if you're doing 6 shows, you're making $600. You're doing $100 a show. And so if you're a headliner and you sold out all 6 of those shows and you brought your own feature, at the very least, I would give them $1,000 for that weekend. So on top of the $600. So then they're going home with $1,600 and then whatever they make with merchandise.
Okay.
So then you're able to you can typically make $3,000 for that weekend because you're making all the merch money, $1,000 on top of it. That's what I would do. And a lot of comics do that. Like Tom Segura, I've heard Tom Segura pays really well. I've heard Nicole Byer pays really well. Like there's a lot of comics who do that. But I think that's what you should do because you already know that the feature pay hasn't went up literally since the 80s. The feature pay has been $100 a show since the 80s.
That's crazy to me. I remember when just around here, you guys would tell me like you'd go up there and you'd do like 15, 20 minutes or something. I'd be like, how much you get for that? Free or you got like $5, $10?
Yeah,
$10.
Yeah.
Ross used to be like, I drove to Tampa for $10. I'd be like, $10. I'm like, it's almost insulting
You
that
gotta
they
love it,
handed it
man.
to you.
You gotta love it.
It's better to be free, and then you did it for the love of the game. Then they even give you $10.
Have you been turning down any more celebrity parties or orgies or anything crazy lately? Because I know, you're out there, you're around the people. So have you seen anything weird lately?
No, I've been to some celebrity parties, but nothing crazy. Like, I don't get invited. Like, I'm not much of a partier. Like, I could probably go to some of these parties, but I'm not much of a partier. Like, SNL has like SNL has like their party after every show in New York, and I'm friends with some of the cast members. So if I wanted to, I probably could like hit them up and like, yo, can I? But I'm just like, we're not like super tight friends, and I honestly, that's not my vibe.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to go, I probably could, but I'm not really. That's not my.
He's a workout guy. He's been working out more. He's going for abs. He's trying to get his abs going.
Depending.
Yeah. You're serious about that, right? Like, I feel like since you've gotten like,
You need to get on the tee.
yeah,
I got a guy.
Yeah. We need to get you on
Yeah.
testosterone and beef you
No,
up.
I'm not gonna take drugs, but thank you.
It's not
Yeah,
drugs.
it's not a drug. This
It's
is,
natural. It's in your body. It can make you super horny.
It's like a fancier Red Bull.
Yeah.
I'm a
You'd be
gay.
ripped.
I'm a gay man. I'm already horny all the time.
That's true.
Oh, you can always
That's
be
true. Oh my
hornier.
God.
That's what my pop-up used
I'm
to
so
say.
jealous of Akeem and how he can live his life as a gay man. Like, I look at how horny he is, and like I check the boxes, but like the freedom he gets to have sex in U-Hauls and wild encounters where there's multiple people. It just looks like fun, man.
It is pretty fun. I had a threesome on Monday.
See,
Oh, threesome on Monday.
a Monday threesome.
Yeah.
What was I doing? Dropping my daughter off at dance.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, waiting in the car.
Not last Monday. But yeah.
Okay, last Monday.
So, Akeem, I'm curious, like, just how you're doing a show at Chronic Guru, which is not.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever heard that they are hosting a show,
Yeah,
right? And I've seen that a lot in Orlando, where there are a lot of places that are turning into like event venues for they're using the space for a bunch of different things because the internet makes it available to do that, and you can market it. I imagine New York is doing a ton of that, right? Like, it's got to be like because they're
In New York?
Yeah.
Yeah. New York, there's comedy everywhere. New York, there's independent shows. There's a bunch of independent shows in New York. There's also a lot of comedy clubs. New York comedy, like, they pay better because you're getting paid per spot, and you're only doing like 10 to 15 minutes on a spot. So on a weekend, most clubs pay $100 a spot, and you can do 10 spots in a weekend. So that's $1,000.
Yeah,
So like,
I mean,
it like New York on weekend isn't bad.
Yeah, and you're also, especially if you're up and coming, if you're like cutting your teeth, I would imagine, to be able to practice and also get a little bit of something makes it a lot more worthwhile in the beginning.
Does it flood the market with stand-up comedians where, like, when there was
tons of
when there was less venues, similar with podcasts or anything, when there's less of something, you have to be higher quality.
The market is flooded with comedians because of the comedy boom, and everyone is trying to do comedy because it's lucrative. Because if you have a following, it can be lucrative.
Yeah.
So a lot of like social media people who are usually terrible at stand-up are trying to do it because they want to make quick, easy money, and they can sell tickets to it. So there's like kind of a boom right now where everyone's just like interested in comedy. Because if you think about all the shows that are being on, like Marvel's Miss Maisel and Crashing, and like all the shows that are about stand-up, like stand-up is having like a really big boom, which I think will probably be for another 3 or 4 years, and then people like realize that they're not good at it, and they'll get back to doing something else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we're kind of already
Podcasting is having the same boom. Everyone has a podcast now.
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah,
I'm
but
actually
it keeps
seeing
going.
them die. I'm starting to see them die. There's a lot of them dying,
They do
including
die.
ours.
But Akeem, the thing about the podcast is when you're a stand-up comedian, eventually no one will come to your show if you're horrible. You know, and then but
Yeah.
with podcasts, people can do podcasts and no one's listening, but that doesn't stop anybody.
No.
Like when you're a stand-up and no one shows up, like it'll
Well, that's
eventually.
the majority. The majority
Yeah.
of podcasts have no listeners.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
But they'll continue to do that. Like you need a visual representation of your audience to show you you're horrible for you to stop
not
doing
even
it.
that though. People have visual rep. You can get analytics to tell you that your podcast is terrible,
Yeah, we have that.
but people just don't. People just don't look at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean the same thing when you're up on stage and there's nobody in the crowd at all. It means more
Yeah.
than if you download, like you do a podcast and you're like, oh, only 10 people download it, but you're like, well,
You're like, kind of like 10. Yes.
or you're like, eventually someone will hear. You know, you rationalize it.
It's a stone. Someone will find it.
Anyway, Akeem, where can people get your tickets to the 10 o'clock Chronic Guru
Is the
show?
easiest at AkeemWoods.com?
Yeah, the easiest is AkeemWoods.com, www.akeemwoods.com. You can buy all my tickets there. That's where I'll be. It is on the 28th, which is next Tuesday. 8 p.m. show is completely sold out, so you have to get tickets to the 10 p.m. I promise the 10 p.m. show is going to be great. We're gonna have special guests and whatever famous person's in town. I'm going to see if they can stop by.
I love it.
So make sure you come to the show.
Well, thank you
And
so
you-
much.
and
man.
there's like weed drinks and stuff, so you can drink and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
weed- I have never had a
You
weed
should
drink.
buy weed
No.
if they're selling it.
Yeah. You can leave the show with a pocket full of weed, and it's fine.
If you see the
Yes.
guru, tell him that
Yeah,
I want to talk to him,
Yeah, yeah.
talk some business.
Just come to the show and you can tell him yourself.
He doesn't do anything.
No, I need to guarantee that the guru's going to be there.
All he does now is run, swim, bike, and then sit with his sons. That's all he does now.
Wait, do you have abs now?
Yeah, he does. He does.
No,
he
not-
does.
I don't have.
They're close. They're close.
It's like a dad flabby abs.
But it's good. It's Flabs.
It's daddy flabby abs.
Which is also his rap name.
Yeah. And
That's
when
good.
you lose a weight, I notice that my old man skin
Yeah.
really shows. I need to you
Yeah.
need to keep the weight
I have to
puff
tuck.
it.
I have to tuck my belly into my socks. It's like
Why don't you get the skin tightening surgery or whatever?
It's
no,
too
no.
much money. You have a guy? I'll do it if it's cheap. Like
no, I don't
like
have a guy. You should
$800
start a
bucks.
GoFundMe.
No, that's embarrassing.
Akeem, we love you, man. Thanks so much for hitting us up, and good luck with the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it.
All right,
you,
man.
Dan.
We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
See ya. That is Akeem Woods live from New York City.
All right, we will see.
We got some time.
Oh,
Yeah, we have some time.
sorry.
I thought you were trying to bail, and I
okay.
believe
I thought we had
I
20.
believe we have a solid 6 minutes.
Okay, all right,
So
perfect.
let's do some. You want to do a couple of voicemails?
You know, I was thinking about pitching to Akeem a buddy comedy where it is a reality
Okay,
show.
pitch it to me.
Okay, I'll pitch it to you.
Yeah.
So, he takes me to places in New York that are outside of my comfort zone.
Okay.
And then then he'll come down to Florida. Then I'll take him out on the St. Johns River.
He does
and
a
out to the
character.
swamp.
No, this would be perfect. He does a character, and we didn't even talk about this. But on Tuesday, well, today's Tuesday. Damn it. He does a character on Straight Tuesdays named Malcolm.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, "What's up? I'm Malcolm. I'm horny for girls."
Okay, he's horny Malcolm.
Yeah, horny Malcolm. And he's only horny for girls. And he always has girls kissing him. He wears a do-rag.
Oh, okay.
It's
All
awesome.
right, I
It's
like
great.
that.
It's so
Me
great.
and Malcolm, bro. We're gonna be friends. But anyway, and then I take him out, and then I'll take him tubing and all the the stuff that he's not comfortable doing, and then he takes me to a
I gotta
club.
tell you, man, I would actually watch A Mediocre Time with Tom and Malcolm. I would definitely watch that. Would you like a couple of voicemails
yeah,
on
yeah.
your way out of here, buddy?
Yeah.
Let's go with this one about you really opened up the
Oh,
bag of
God.
anger when you were talking about your intense dislike of theme parks,
Oh God.
and we had a lot of
Well,
phone
and to
calls.
each their own. I'm just saying it's not for me. For you, fine. I don't care what anybody does. I don't care what you like.
Hey there, Tom and Dan. Hey guys, it's Kenny. We're talking about Tom not understanding fun that even kids or adults are having at theme parks. I think the problem is he sees the commercials, and in the commercials the kids are losing their minds, the parents are hugging everyone, they're having
Yeah.
so much fun. But that's just a commercial, Tom. That's not how people actually have fun at things. So when he goes to Universal and people aren't automatically like eyes wide, mouth agape in awe and wonder, then he's like, oh, clearly no one's having fun. Tom, your level of expectation of what fun is way too high. People can just enjoy, have a brief smile.
I'll cut him off for a second. I think both you and I think because of this job, what we do, our imaginations, the way we talk to each other, we have a weird and very messed up view of what things are supposed to be like. Seriously, neither of us are right.
Well, if it's on the commercial and I'm watching people like, yeah, and they're like pumping their fist and having the time of their life, and then I show up and they're grueling like
well, first of all, none of them look the same. None of them look the same.
Yeah. And then they're just walking like, oh.
They're lumbering. They all have big diabetic socks on.
They're sweating. It's they're being scorched by the sun.
So many wheelchairs.
And then
so many porta scoots.
They're just opening their wallet, pulling their pants inside out. They're like, I've spent all my money, scorched.
They're yelling at their kids.
Standing on the like in a line.
Stop that.
Yeah. And then
stop that.
It doesn't look like they're having fun. Like, it's such a.
In the chat room checking it, so many knee braces. And,
they're all miserable.
Yeah, it's just miserable.
It's
a bunch of hot knee braces.
Yeah. At least put some plants in there, pretending to have fun.
Put some shade. How about some shade? Here's an idea. Why don't you put a goddamn sheet over the whole spot?
Well, I mean, like plant some actors, and then pretending to have as much fun in the commercials.
Trees. Put some trees out there. I'm sweating my bowl. I'm dying.
Yeah. Like you know how like in China, if some dictator dies,
I don't do anything like that. I'm an American. I'm a true blood patriot. You're gonna bring up some Chinese garbage? I don't want that.
They hire.
I do only what John Wayne does. What would John Wayne do?
They hire town criers like to go and they'll cry in front of Kim Jong Un's.
Fake mourners.
Yeah, fake mourners.
We have those too. Don't get me spinning on my conspiracy theories.
So why doesn't the theme parks hire fake having funners?
Oh, fun people.
Yeah, and then just to be like, because then be like, whoa, guy.
You know I hate.
It'll bring up everybody's time.
You know for a fact I hate almost all of your ideas, but I actually like this. I actually like this one.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this one because it would make my day. It would make my time there better.
Yeah, like, a family, they're like, yo, look what I do. They're screaming, having fun, just have them wander around. They're working shifts. Like, you have a bunch of people in costumes.
Are they going to expect to be tipped when they're done? Are they going to stand around?
No. You think they're real tourists. Will
they ever break character?
No, just like Cinderella. They no matter what you say to her.
I think she would, though. I think if I tackled her, she'd be like, what the F? Or something, right?
Well, there's a handler around. They'll tase you good.
I got a spicy Snow White one time, and I don't think I was supposed to have her.
No, really?
Like Andrea and I, like years ago, Andrea and I were we did that. Some friends and I were talking about this on Facebook like a couple of days ago. We were talking about, and it stemmed from your conversation of theme parks, and most BDMs sort of agreed with me, and I agree with them too, that it does seem that before the pandemic, that going to the parks was it was fine. You could go out there, ride a couple rides, and eat something, and get home, and it not be like an
insane,
disgusting, just
crowded.
But now it's just a different.
And
I've only been a couple times post pandemic, but to me it is different. And I'm not dumb old manning it because multiple people have said they feel the same way. It's not the same.
It could, who knows? It
feels like it does feel more. It feels like what the pandemic did is lit the fuse to everybody. Go like, we have to go here as many times as humanly possible before we die.
Yeah,
and now everybody's in there like charging it every day because they're just like, I'm afraid it'll be taken away again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that could have. I mean, that could be the
case.
Not
for. I don't think it's for me anymore because like even going to Typhoon Lagoon, that was hard. I had to like really suck it up for that.
Yeah. But you said it rained and it cleared out the crowds.
The rain does clear out the crowds, but I think I only got lucky because it was a water park.
All right, we will see you tomorrow. Perfect. And then we could do just a voicemail for Thursday 1. Let me save this guy. That was good.
Yeah, it was real good. It's nice to talk to Akeem.
Yeah, it's
good.
Cool to see someone start from, and to see it in person. Like, everybody talks about starting from the bottom now here. Drake says that, but, like, I didn't know Drake when he was working for Disney
but we did
or
know
whatever.
Akeem. We had him on ACT 10 years ago. We looked it
No.
up.
Yeah, no, I know.
10 years ago, we had Akeem.
And that's when he was just doing
Yeah.
local
I mean, he was only
shows,
maybe
yeah.
a year and a half.
He
free
just started.
of telling, like he had just come out of the closet. He was just comfortable with being gay.
Yeah, he was working at First Watch
was
and then
working at
doing
First
stand
Watch, yep.
stand up on the weekends. That's
Yep.
cool. Just to see anybody make their own way and build their own living is cool. It's
Except for Jim Colbert.
yeah.
When I
yeah.
watch him, I don't know about that guy.
I'm like, he doesn't deserve
Yeah,
it.
Take his money.
I'm like, Jim Phillips had better takes.
You know, he's yesterday. I give Jimmy shit, but I listen to his show almost every afternoon because I'm leaving here and I like to listen to him.
Oh.
And Jerry was talking about a pineapple. There's some pink pineapple that they're selling for like $600. It's like some special pineapple.
Okay.
And Andrea just got a bootleg version of this because we had one. It wasn't the $600 version, but it was supposed to be some sort of fancy pineapple called a pink ruby pineapple. And we ate it yesterday, and we cut it all up, and sure enough, the meat is bright pink.
Oh, it's just like they crossbreeded it with something and like
no.
genetically modified it.
Yeah, it's just a fancy, super sweet. I think they bred it to be more sugary.
Because with a lot of like that botany, you can start interweaving different fruits together and shit, and like making. They do it with grapes, with like the cotton candy grapes and like certain varieties. And like
I don't like the cotton candies. Maisie and Andrea do. I don't like them.
So there must have been like a variety of a pineapple that had like more of a pinkish hue, and then they're able to like double or triple down on that and to make it way more.
It was also sweeter, I thought, like way sweet. Let me get voicemails here.
I've been back into my plants lately.
Nice. All right. What do you got
You
going
should see
now?
my backyard. I worked on it all day
I want to see
on
it.
Sunday.
I'll come over and look at it.
I got some bunch of plumeria.
Get it ready for football and have a football plant party.
Yeah. I mulched it. I put down
mulched
weed
it?
barrier and
Oh my
mulch.
God.
And then
Did you get fed up? Did you have a
and
freak
then
out?
I cut it all back. Like it's turning into a showpiece.
I like that. All right. I got voicemails. You can talk about your plants too if you want to. Here we go. And 3, 2.
Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Still time to get your tickets to ACT Live. That's May 31st, Friday. We've got stand-up at 6, and then we go on live at 7 o'clock. It will be broadcast on Real Radio and Twitch.
Now, I did just get an email from Ryan Holmes, very concerned about the compression ratios, and once we talk over each other, how it knocks it off the towers and everything. It's going to be very complicated. Very complicated, yeah. I haven't read all of it yet.
Just
but it's
plug it in.
No, it's
You
like
just
something
buy
he's
the
talking about.
micro-
Like all I read.
Compression
you know, like
ratio.
when you get a Facebook Messenger message, it'll just give you like a one line from the beginning, and then and then it'll give you the last line of the end, and then the last line of the end, it was from Ryan Holmes, and then it just said like ... I am very concerned. That's what it said.
Now, here's some behind the scenes. So we got to pay iHeart for this.
Okay.
But when they send the bill, I'm not going to pay.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And then I'm going to be like, I'm not. And then I'm just
Send
going
it
to
to collections.
And then, and then what are they going to do? Like,
Just do it like a senator when they subpoena. You're just like, I'm not going.
Because the trick, I used to work there, and then I used to ask the salespeople, I'm like, what happens if these clients don't pay? They're like, well, we'll threaten them. And then I'm like, will you do anything? Like, no,
we just threaten
them.
them.
Yeah, like, it's too expensive to actually do anything.
We know the jig is up.
Yeah. So I know when you threaten me, I know nothing will come after
I wonder
that.
what the threat is.
Like that we'll
tell everyone that you're a POS. And I'm like, they already know.
I think it's like we'll get legal involved.
Legal?
Yeah.
We got legal.
No, but it costs so much money. To even pick up the phone is $500. They're not gonna get no one involved.
But yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Gagman is here.
Also, Tom and Dan Cruise 2024.com. You just have till the end of May to book your cruise if you want to go. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, it should be a great time. Let's dig into some voicemails. This one involving stealing. This is a stealing voicemail.
Tom keeps talking about who would break in to steal TVs or who would break into your studio to steal some cheap laptops, but he keeps failing to factor in that it's free. If you crawl through a window and take somebody's cheap TV and cheap laptop and you sell those for, what, $20, $30 each, that's a couple sacks of weed that you didn't have to pay for. It was free. It was 10 minutes. People will steal cheap shit because it's free.
Well, but
Yeah,
Tom also...
the risk versus reward.
Let me
though.
just tell you, sir. Tom is going to say what he's going to say, and he's going to stick to it, okay? I'm sorry.
No.
It's just that's the way it's going to go, man.
Well, if someone, yes, I understand. Okay, it's free, so whatever they sell for, it's more than they had before. I understand, but you also understand that they have some comprehension of the risk. Breaking and entering is a big charge.
It is, but this guy's saying that they probably are maybe not that intelligent, and maybe their risk and reward meter isn't the same as yours. So maybe they'd be more likely to, let's say, steal all of the TVs from Johnny's other side, which has happened 40 times.
Yeah.
40 times.
I understand you're tweaking out and you just need some Roxy's and you just got to get $30 and that, but what I'm saying is in general, I would believe that people would pick a breaking and entering spot that's going to yield the biggest result if they're going to risk that crime, right? So you're going to break into here for a TV that you could, at the pawn shop sell for $25? Or if you're going to break into somewhere, at least break into a place that could yield hundreds of dollars and something.
I think
they didn't do the math.
I agree with I see what you're saying, but I have to disagree with you because I don't think your average tweaker knows that a TV is only worth $25. I think they still.
Oh, they know the worth.
I think they're still looped into well, it's easy. I can get what's easy.
But also, you run the risk. Now you're carrying around a 40-inch TV down the street or whatever. Most likely you don't have a car. And then now there's a bunch of Ring doorbells videotaping you. It's so much heat.
Okay, the Ring doorbell, don't even ring that up because that's a nothing. Rings don't do anything.
Dude, cops will go and
they'll look at it and they'll be like, there's nothing we can do. How many times have you had a friend that says, they came over, they looked at the Ring doorbell, they can't do anything? More than they can do things.
Well, they do hold the evidence for eventual.
I can hold my balls and it does nothing.
Our video was used when they broke into my car in a court case against the kids that broke into the car. I said kids. They were 19 or 20.
So
the police officer took.
So you never gave that update.
No, the police officer, we sent them, the guy, when he came, he's like, can I have the surveillance camera footage? So we sent it to him.
We're going to trump up some charges for a case we've got going.
They didn't catch him yet, but when they finally did catch them, the guy told us, he sent an email to Crystal saying,
wait a
the
minute,
video
off
footage.
Duty? He's like, hi, I'm a cop and off duty. I want to let you know, thank you for your service.
Something like that.
No, that's a lie. That never happened.
No, I'm telling you,
I'd have to see the email. So a cop took it out of his day to send you an email saying, thank you for your service for sending that video. We got him. We nabbed him.
Something like that happened. I'll call Crystal.
If we don't have the details, it never happened.
I'm calling Crystal.
Then why
right
didn't
now.
we talk about that on the show?
We did talk about that.
We did talk about the video being used in a court case against the kids.
Yeah.
I never heard that.
And then Crystal was like, it's not that bad. Or they're like, we're prosecuting them.
I don't think we ever talked about this, dude. I don't ever
when
remember.
when they stole my wallet.
I remember them breaking in, but I don't ever remember them using the footage. I think that's a new thing.
We're going to talk to you on the show. Hold on.
Oh, wow. You're doing it like I do it Andrea style. You're doing it Andrea style. That's a good way to get yourself in trouble, buddy. Let's try this one. Hello, Crystal.
Hey.
Hey, remember when we had that footage of the guy breaking into my truck?
Yeah, the chat room says they never got an update. We've never talked about this.
What?
The footage of
it wasn't your truck. I don't think was the was it the truck or was it the WRX?
I think it was my truck when they stole the wallet.
It was the truck.
Whatever. That's not the question. So didn't the detective? You sent the footage to the detective, and he told you that he used it in the court case, right, or something?
Yeah, but that wasn't. So there were 2 times that you left your car open and somebody got into it.
This is backfiring.
The time that you're talking about with the detective and the footage was when a kid broke into your WRX. He didn't get anything because our neighbor started yelling at him and saying, "Who are you? What are you doing there?" And that kid ended up arrested because they had like broken into a bunch of cars that whole weekend or whatever. And
Yeah.
a lot of different people had footage, but nobody had the license plate. But somebody got the license plate, and they used our footage in the court case.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. So
But-
you're right.
But then
so many break-ins.
and the cop told you, like, we're going to use your footage in the court case, right?
I mean, I don't remember if he told me or did it
that's-
come in a
that doesn't
letter.
count.
I don't know.
That doesn't count. She said, I don't
A
remember.
letter.
Case closed.
Well, what's the question? What's the question?
Daniel thought I was lying. I'm just telling you that I remember this
No,
happening.
Crystal, I did not say he was lying. I said you've never told us this, and you never gave us an update on the detective taking time out of his day to write you and say, "Dearest Crystal Van, thank you so much for your Ring video footage. With this video footage, we were able to put these scumbags behind bars. Thank you, Detective Thomas."
I will.
Well, no, but so they did ask me to submit my footage to the case, which I did, and I did get updates by paper, like by mail, certified mail,
Ooh.
constantly about this case,
Ooh.
about the kid who, what's going to happen to him. I had to vote whether, what is it called?
Send him up the river.
I can't remember. Like not to prosecute him or not. but what's that thing?
Adjudication?
Deferred something or other.
Oh, yeah. That's where they're
I
like,
can't remember, but,
that's
like,
where, like,
he
we'll
could
give you
do-
we'll give you a second chance.
yeah, you get to pick up trash off 50.
Yeah.
Turn your life around. Get your teeth bleached.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. I had to vote on that. And you know what's interesting,
Ruin
and
this
this is not
kid's
why
life.
you called, but nobody, there were like 10 break-ins. Nobody wanted to press charges against the kid.
Oh, that kid's got some power.
Except my wife.
I
Got
support
him
her.
good.
Send him up the river. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you followed through. Ruin his life. Send him up the river.
I was like, oh no! Everybody else is let him
yeah,
free,
get
and
that,
you.
get that scumbag off the street.
No, he's just making a mistake. He
No,
just
no.
wants some rocks.
No, you want to steal my wallet?
No, he's
No.
he's freaking out, like he's getting
Well,
sick.
Here's what I say: you
He
put
needs
one.
some medicine.
You put one of my family in the hospital. I put you in the effing morgue.
Hey, just trying to not to diarrhea his pants
Yeah.
because he's freaking
How
out on.
are you going to clean up Castleberry if you don't put these scumbags behind bars?
Listen, I'm sorry. There were others who did press charges. It wasn't just me. But the cops said it's hard to get people to press charges these days. They just want to go about their business and not bother with all this.
That's
But
you. That's the
like-
Tom. That's
Of
the
course I
Tom's
am.
fault.
I'm
That's
sorry,
it's
but-
fine.
Our cars had been broken into so many times. I don't know if it's the same people or not, but the kid had hit like 10 other cars, and some people had really valuable things stolen out of their cars. Like, I'm sorry. Don't do that. You're breaking into my car. The cop banged on my door at
She's
4
right.
o'clock in the morning
She's
and woke
right.
me up. You have to pay for that.
Yep.
You should
And
not have done that. to me.
I'm gonna do something that I don't want to do, but it will change your life direction, and you need a life direction change.
Yeah.
You need
People
it.
do need like direction change, and if you just get off all the time and somebody bails you out all the time,
Yep.
then you're never, the next time it's easier because, well, I didn't have to suffer any
Yeah.
consequences.
Next thing
Hold
you know,
on.
you wind up in drug court
I-
feeding me a bunch of BS.
I have spent my entire life being bailed out. My mom has done it. My wife.
You were almost named Billy Bailout. That was almost your middle name
and
Bailout.
look how good I've turned out. Like, I've built my way up in society. I've got a boat. I've got a house.
He's got footage. He's putting teens behind bars with footage from his Ring doorbell.
Yeah, and it's all because I've been bailed out. I'm not afraid to take chances because I'm like, oh, someone will bail me out.
Yeah. You're a risk taker.
Yeah. So no matter what, even with this podcast, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, if it doesn't,
Yeah,
if something
it'll be
goes
fine.
wrong,
Daniel will bail- I'm kidding.
Daniel will bail me out.
Yeah,
I'll
he's
just start a
fine.
business. If it
Yeah.
goes wrong,
Yeah,
he'll bail me out. His mom will loan us some money.
Yeah, I'll take his dead mom's money.
Listen, rules are in place for a reason.
They are.
to be followed.
I agree.
No, the spirit of the rule.
Willy-nilly, and there's no rules, then their driving becomes a problem. It's too noisy outside. People are stealing from each other.
Are we describing your street? It's not that bad, guys. It's not that bad.
No, the spirit of the rules need to be followed. The exact letter of the law
And did
is
you? And so
loose.
nothing. Have you been? Where are we at with you locking your car? By the way, we'll end it with this because I don't want to waste
Okay,
Crystal's
wait.
time.
Can I? No, let me tell him. Please let me tell him.
You can tell anything you want. It's
I
your
wanna
show.
answer
You
this.
own half of the show, Crystal. I don't know if you know that, but you're on the documents.
No, a quarter of the show.
She's on the documents.
I want to answer this question, Daniel.
Please.
Every day, TC goes to the car in the morning to open the door, and it's locked. And then he goes, God damn it. And then he comes walking back into the house to get the keys to unlock the door. Because at night, I go around and I lock the doors before I go to sleep. I lock all the doors in the house. I check the cars are locked. I make sure the garage doors are
I do
shut.
too, Crystal. I do too.
But meanwhile, TC's in bed. He could care less if the door is wide open.
He's waiting there for you to come back and sit on him. He's waiting there. He's got he's waiting. He's got his hand braces off. He's waiting there. He's waiting for his sexy wife to come back.
Yeah, well, and then every single day, no matter how many days in a row this happens for a year now, or however many days it's been since the last car break-in, he still does not remember that the door is locked. So he goes out to the car with no keys, tries to open it, and curses my name every single morning.
This has been 365 times.
Oh, how do you know I curse your name?
Because she's standing by the door.
I say it in my head, though.
Well, she's in your head, buddy. Lawnmower man.
She's
in your head.
Will you give me a break now that you've seen your son that you love so much have the same disease, I'll call it, or disability? You know, it really is a disability.
But you guys are leaning into it. Now that you have each other, I feel like you guys are leaning into it, which is not fair.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
No, I feel like Tom and Tommy, now that they have each other, and they're like, oh, look at us.
Yeah.
We're going to lean in. Oh, we can't do anything because we're just this way.
Well, yeah. No, there's nothing can be done.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, they do that. He's like yesterday.
Are you going to yell at a blind person? Just see, goddammit.
Crystal, I was helping him last night. We're not going to talk about it because he asked me repeatedly not to talk about it.
I know all about it.
So I'm using Google Chrome. And I look, and there are 90 tabs open. And he's like, he looks at me and he goes, no, I'm sorry, there's nothing can be done. You could close your tabs. You could close your tabs.
How do I get back to him fast?
You have to remember to go to the website
No,
again.
I have to go www dot the whole thing.
Dooba dot.
And then I go to each one.
Over and over.
Yeah, so I think now...
Don't they have the computing power to have as many as I want?
So now, Crystal, I believe this. I feel like now I look at him, I go like, why don't you just close... I even said it. I laughed. I sat back in my chair. I go, just close your tabs, man. And he's like, I can't do it. You've seen Tommy. You've seen Tommy. You've seen me. You've seen Tommy. That is definitive proof that nothing can be done. And I'm supposed to take that and be like, oh, okay, well, sorry, nothing can be done.
He's using my poor son as a crutch now. Like, oh, well, you've seen Tommy, so that means
yeah, it's proof.
No, I just said
I created another one.
And then Crystal tries to teach Tommy. She's like, don't end up like your father.
You need to learn to control your powers.
And then I sit back and laugh. I'm like, there's no way to teach out of this. Like, he cannot ever change. I said, there's no way to change. It isn't 100%.
There is a way to change if you're willing.
No,
you gotta try.
No. That's what the old saying is.
It's like Yoda.
No, that's what they said about the gays. And guess what? There's no way to
try
change.
not to be gay?
Yeah, that's what they said. Society said. They're like, oh, there's a way to change this. You were born this way.
My dad used to say that all the time. He's like, try not to be gay this time.
You keep getting bailed out, and that's why you're unwilling to change.
That's true. I closed all his tabs. I closed all 90 of those tabs.
That's what we need to do, Daniel. You and me, we need to gather some consequences.
Oh, well, he'll be bad here. He'll be bad here because he'll just be like, my computer shut down. What are you going to do about it? And I'll try to...
you know what, Daniel? You and I are the ones who have to pay.
Yeah.
You'll pay. You'll pay.
You should see me. He'll be laying on the couch with his arm brace on and everything, and I'm supposed to come in there and give him sex. Same thing. It's the same thing. All right. Thank you for letting us interrupt your day, Crystal.
Did you fill the scuba tanks yet?
Are you guys going scuba diving?
No. I just want me and my sons to scuba dive in our pool, and I gotta get all the scuba tanks.
So let me guess. It's gonna be you and Tommy laying on the bottom of the pool.
Well, Max will be there too, but I need to get the BCs and all the regulators checked because they're all leaky. They're sitting there in our dry rod.
Am I supposed to be doing this? You texted me a couple times. This is what you texted me.
That's a Daniel text if I've ever seen one. Fill the scuba tanks? That's a Daniel Dennis text.
He never told me to fill. He said, I want to get the scuba tanks filled and serviced. And he said that a couple times.
That's a way of saying, that's a Daniel Dennis text. That's me saying, Andrew will fill the scuba tanks and get him serviced, please. I'm telling you what I want. Please do it. I'm rubbing off on him a little bit.
Yeah, I've been saying what I want to be done, and I'm throwing it out there.
Yeah.
And
you should decide to do it if you love me.
Yeah. That should give you a hint of like, oh, you know what I should do?
This is actually one of the first things you've done that I like.
You get the scuba tanks filled and get the, all the O-rings.
And you should like that, Chris, because he's being forceful with you. He's saying, fill the damn damn scuba tank.
And here's what will happen if you don't
He's not
do
being
it.
forceful.
Then me and my sons will be at the bottom of the pool with old air and the O-rings all dry rotted, and you're putting your family's life in danger.
Why don't you try and be forceful with her right now? Use it as an. Why don't you tell her? Get those goddamn scuba tanks filled.
No, that's not. I mean,
Why don't you tell her?
Kind of forced.
You tell her, say,
Something
look,
kind of
you
forced
go get those scuba tanks filled, and when I get home, I'll pump you good.
Ugh.
It didn't work.
yeah.
What was
That doesn't
me
work.
saying
Yeah.
it? I'm kind of gross.
Yeah.
I know your wife finds me gross.
No.
She wrote it on a piece of paper one time and slid it over to me. It just
No.
said, "You're gross."
No. She finds me the whole, It's a
Why are you
whole thing.
laughing like Rodney Dangerfield?
All right.
All right, well-
Babe, BartTheRealtor.com if you're looking to buy or sell a house.
Yeah.
We
We basically gave you
With
the best.
Charles Ruttenberg Realty.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Charles
The
Ruttenberg
Bart
Realty.
Merrick team. The Bart Merrick team at Charles Ruttenberg Realty.
There you go.
What's Mr. Ruttenberg doing?
Yeah,
It's
he's
just-
filling the scuba tank.
Part of the rules. You gotta say the whole
It's
thing.
the Ruttenberg
The
rules.
rules.
Yeah, the Ruttenberg rules.
Didn't the rules change? I see it on the internet.
Yeah.
There's like, oh, if you're a realtor.
Yeah, you can sell your house.
Listen, I've had about enough of this.
Oh my God. Okay, bye-bye.
All right.
All right, I hung up on her. 'Cause I don't want to
Yeah.
get you into trouble.
That's all right. See,
Yeah.
that's what happens.
Yeah, that is. So you're gonna take the boys scuba diving?
Well, Tommy.
They've done it before, right?
Yeah, in the pool with me.
Oh, they did it with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but so Tommy's 10 now, so you could be certified at 10.
Oh, I thought it was 12.
No, that's
Nice.
That's what the companies want you to believe. But 10 is actually the
The
legal age.
Groupon.
Because most trainers want to wait till the kids get like 12, whatever. Like they don't want to mess with a 10-year-old. Anyway,
I can
so-
understand that.
But I'll do it myself in my pool.
Yeah.
And then next year when Max turns 10, then we can go on adventures, and that's what I'm.
I like it.
But we got to start with. I got to get all my, the BC and the regulator.
Now,
and,
again, I know this is a weird question,
No.
but is this something that they want to do?
the boys.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing about indoctrination is that they don't have any. You do it before they have a choice.
Okay.
They know they
Well, I
can
know
do
you,
it.
you say to me, though, sometimes you're like, they just don't have anything that they want to do. And I'm like, well, maybe if why don't you try doing what they want to do?
No, well, they just want to sit home and play video
That's
games.
pretty awesome. It's pretty good. Have you tried it?
Max just wants to sit and play Geometry Dash.
Oh, that's a
With-
good game, dude. Have
But-
you played?
Yeah, but it's
good.
It's
good for your brain.
No, I think it's bad for your brain. It's making his brain.
Geometry. It's math.
No,
You love math.
It's just a bouncing thing, and it's hitting a button like, and I'm like, are you even controlling it? He's like, oh yeah. And I'm like,
He sounds just like you. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm totally good.
and then he's just bouncing this little thing, and it is a side scroll, like it's super rudimentary, but it's kind of like fast moving Tetris or whatever, but it's so fast and crazy that his brain, I'm like, how is your brain even comprehending that? And then I see when he gets off it, his eyeballs are spinning, and I'm like, see, it's messing with your brain. You're
You
addicted
need to
to
scuba
it.
dive.
Yeah, you need to relax.
It will slow you down,
Get
though.
down in the
Oh,
water.
I've been wanting to scuba dive lately, dude. Where are you guys going to go? Are there any places?
I'm gonna take off on my boat.
Well,
We'll do
let
it
me
myself.
go with you. Can I go with you?
Yeah.
Because I've been
Yeah.
wanting to scuba dive.
You got to buy your own gear on
I've
Facebook
never-
Marketplace.
I'm not buying good gear. I'll buy good gear.
No, it's
I'll have the
expensive.
be-
It-
I don't care.
It'd be like
I'll tell
$2,000
Andrew. I'll text her right now. Buy me scuba gear. Best the maid.
Yeah, we'll just go off and we'll take off.
Yeah.
Crystal's been talking about taking the boat down to Miami for 4th of July.
That's gonna be a mess.
I'm like, isn't the boat ramps gonna be?
It'll just be decimated.
And she's like, we'll handle it.
Have you seen these new guys?
Yeah,
Speaking
yeah.
of boat ramps,
They make YouTube videos about the Miami boat
yeah,
ramps.
I'm watching them crazy. It's on my algorithm now, and now it's like my algorithm has been. You ever you'll start watching something and you'll see it and you'll enjoy it, and then all of a sudden it's all you have. So
Yeah,
now
oh, yeah, yeah.
all I have now on my algorithm. I'm sure it'll correct itself in a bit. Are these they're jet skis, but they're made to look like old cars. They're made to look like classic cars. They're very fancy.
Huh,
and
I've
there's
never seen
always
this.
some Spanish Miami real man driving it, and it's a jet ski. and it looks like a super fancy 57 Chevy, and they can't control them at all because they try to drive them like cars, and they think there's a brake, so they're flying and just ramming into other people's boats, and they're getting into fights, and that's all the videos I get are Spanish real men fighting in tiny classic car jet skis. I'll show them to you. They're awesome. And the guy will be driving it. It's a big, giant Spanish man, and he goes, Chico, Chico! And he's like, Kang! And he runs into a boat, and then the fishermen run over there and get the hell out of here. And they're pushing him, and Chico! And they're like fighting. Oh, so good, dude.
You know, a lot of people don't realize when you let off the accelerator on a jet ski, you can no longer turn.
And guess what's making it worse? Teslas. Like, when you go with a Tesla, you do have regenerative braking. If I take my foot off the gas, it'll stop the damn car.
Yeah.
And everybody drives these jet skis like they're driving an electric car or a go-kart. It just doesn't work like that.
Because if you're not accelerating on a jet ski, there's no way to turn. Like, turning the handlebars will do nothing if there's not water coming out of the impeller.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So
the impeller is what you were turning to actually turn you around.
I learned that when me and the Wizard borrowed his uncle's jet ski, and we ran it onto 97th Avenue, like in the Miami canals. He was hauling ass, and he let off the throttle, and then it literally like a ramp. He went over the rocks and up the grass and onto 97th Avenue, and then the cars are honking. He had to drag it back off. But that's how people have died like that. You know?
I mean, I will say that these little custom jet ski boats, it's like a little two-person. Instead of making it you're like the passenger is riding behind you, wrapped around your waist, it's a side by side.
Yeah, like a little jet boat.
Yeah, but it's made to look like a classic boat. It's like something you would see like our buddy Nadeem, that's all into classic cars and stuff around here. It's like
it's like a rich people toys.
Yeah, with like wood grain on the back and like a decking, it made it look like a fancy boat where it has like a wood teak deck on the back for you to jump off of. And these guys can't drive these things worth a damn.
Speaking of boats in Miami, did you see that story? It's super sad, but about that high school girl water skier that died.
I did.
And
did they get the person that was
They
driving?
found the guy.
They found the boat, right?
They found the boat and the guy, and this has been kind of a controversy within my friends.
Well, here, can I tell you what I saw?
Okay.
They were telling me that there's more to the story. Our buddy Tizzy actually was saying it. He's like, there's more to the story, but when you find out, it's not going to be good for anybody. They're like, it's going to be a sad ending to the story.
Well, she passed away, the girl, and they were looking for the boat. They're like, it's a boat with a blue bottom with the multiple engines on the back. I mean, like, some of these boats in Miami, they're $1 million center console. Like, there's 4 engines, 4 350 Mercuries on the back. It's insane.
Yeah, massive boats.
And so they found the boat and the guy, and he's claiming he was by himself. It was like a 78-year-old man, and he's like, I was out on the boat by myself. And then my friends are like, oh, he's covering for his son or grandson or something. That everybody's like, and then there's video of him like getting back from the day of because everybody's got surveillance cameras because if you live somewhere on the water
drones,
in Miami.
There's drones watching those boats all the time now.
But you have a surveillance camera in the back, so they subpoenaed that and stuff, and they show him just like going about his like normal boat routine, which I guess I'm not sure, but I think he's claiming he had no idea he ran her over.
Yeah, the chat room is saying he's claiming he did not know he hit somebody.
Yeah,
which I will say that there have been multiple elderly people that I've known in my life from like my mom's church that would. Yeah. Like, that's a thing where you clip somebody, a cyclist or something, you hit something, you don't know you hit it.
And I'm not totally familiar with the water laws, as you know. Yeah. But, like, I know if you are scuba diving or snorkeling in the water, you need a dive flag to alert other boats that you are there. And without a dive flag, then I think it is like buyer beware.
Was she diving? I thought she was water skiing.
She was water skiing, but the boat, she fell down, and her boat, she was water skiing, turned around to get her, and that's when the other boat ran her over. So and apparently, so she was out in Biscayne Bay without she was water skiing. She didn't have a dive flag. She had a life vest on.
Well, I water skied my entire life, and if we went down, you'd never have a flag. You just wait for the boat to come pick you up.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never released a flag for skiing.
Now here's I don't know legally if you're water skiing in the channel. Are you then is it are you screwed? Because if you're water skiing in a lake. And you fall down and another boat runs you over. Now, in a ski boat or like my size boat, you could see past the bow pretty easily. But
Yeah.
if you're in a 30, 40-foot center console giant fishing boat.
This was a big boat.
With the bow up and you're running, sometimes you can't see anybody in the water. Like, plenty of people have been run over. So I don't know what happens if they prove that he's not under the influence. I think they chalk it up as an accident. Or if they can somehow prove that he knew he hit someone and fled, then that's a crime. But if it's just his word and like I had no idea, then I don't know if there's a crime.
Tracy's in her chat room and she said there is a skiers down flag. The observer must
but
inform
no one
the
has
operator.
that.
Yeah, nobody has that. I've never used one in my life. I've skied a million times.
Yeah.
My mom and dad that's what they liked to do on weekends is we skied. Never put a flag out.
Yeah.
We just turn around and get mom, turn around and get dad, turn around and get me.
And then
you'd look, and then people would be careful. And then, again, though, I will say that I wasn't riding in the middle of a channel. I was usually riding in an area of the river that didn't have anybody, or I was out in Lake Beresford. I was out in a lake somewhere where there was plenty of visibility and plenty of space.
And it's super sad.
It is sad.
But in like a horrible accident, and plenty of people do this and nothing happens, and it's like it seems like just a horrible situation. But even when we went up to St. Augustine recently, the kids wanted us to bring the tube, and I'm like, I feel uncomfortable dragging you, even if we're going slow in the intercoastal, just because there's so many boats.
Don't feel bad. That's the next comment. The next comment was Jaycorn saying exactly what you just said about like the idea of towing people that I care about behind me, where I can't control the people behind me that are in other boats, is terrifying.
Yeah, so
I get it.
If we do go out to a lake, like if there's a lot of other boats, like I'm super apprehensive about even doing it. Like if it's I remember when I was a kid, or like I say kid, when I'm in my 20s in my boat, we used to take all types of chances.
Man.
But with my kids or anybody else, like I am nervous about that, just because people don't know what the hell they're doing and they're not paying attention. And there are a lot of drunk old guys, or even just old guys that are zooming around in their boat and not looking around.
He could have just been, honestly, anybody can not pay attention.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, especially if you're running across Biscayne Bay, and then a lot of people aren't being super observant, looking around. They're throttles on, they're running, they're going 35 miles an hour.
Around, you're looking at the wake, you're looking at the
you're getting
buoys.
You glance up. You don't have to pay attention. It's not like driving. You have a lot of error that you're not trying to shoot between two rocks, or there's like a super wide area. You know, so
kind of makes me think though. All the times that I've ever skied with you or skied with my parents, it's funny because we would always, I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. This is just tragic.
Yeah.
But we would always go to an area that was like, you could run without having to worry about like there being a lot of other vessels, or that's terrifying. That is really scary and super sad.
Yeah, and Miami's known. I mean, there are, like I was joking around about the YouTube videos, like about the Miami boat ramps. Like even when I was a kid, before YouTube, people used to go out to Black Point or whatever, a popular boat ramp on Labor Day weekend, or Memorial Day is coming up, right? And just go watch the absolute S show of people getting their boats in and out on a super busy weekend. And then now, obviously, it's turned into YouTube videos of it. But it's a mess. A complicated mess.
Yeah, and the boating ones are the ones I follow the most, like Wavy Boats or Qualified Captain or like all of them. I mean, they're like some of the best videos.
Yeah.
Let's try this one. I don't think we played this one. Let's try this one.
Hey, Tom and Dan. I hope you can hear the Weed Eater still running, so I wasn't going to turn that off. But I'm listening to an old show. It's like 265 or something. And little baby Tommy had just been born. And this was the bye-bye baby scenario where Tom left Tommy outside of the stall because he had diarrhea from...
I think everyone should call in with a Weed Eater going in the background. What do you think?
Why just turn off the Weed
No,
Eater?
he said he wanted to keep it running. I kind of admire his commitment.
Had steaks and Annie cooked. And obviously Tom made some mistakes in that. And Ross said he would, you put the kid in the bathroom with you and have him turn around while you got to take your...
Okay, yeah, you get it.
Oh.
You get the idea here.
So
No.
what's his point?
Let's see.
explosive diarrhea. Daniel said, no, just stare with your child, stare them in the eye and have them stare you in the eye. That's what he would do. And I find that interesting because that was, like 10 years ago, and just the other day or a couple weeks ago, I think Daniel had explosive diarrhea and had Maisie in the stall with him, and everyone questioned why. So I'm just glad to see that Daniel is a
man of my word.
Sticks to his word.
I do.
And knows
I'm
his,
not a liar. I mean, if I say when I don't have kids that when I do have a kid that I'm going to stare directly into her eyes while I have diarrhea, and then 10 years later, well, 8 years later, I'm at the Current, which is her favorite restaurant, and I had a problem, and I got to go there, I will do what I say. I'm a man of my word, because I am what, Tom? A true blood patriot.
You know, I just thought of, speaking of kids,
Yeah.
The school has never been more fun.
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the last week.
And so, well, not only but I mean, like, just in this generation in like 2024, because like my son's described to me like, oh yeah, it's the last 2 weeks of school, we're popping a balloon every day to celebrate, and when we pop the balloon, like
Candy flies.
no, like some sort of a reward of something we get to do. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, what kind of reward? And they're like, well, the other day, I got to pop it. Like
Nice.
Max was saying this.
I would want to pop it, too.
And then he's like, we got to take our shoes off.
That's dope, dude.
And
I
I'm like-
never got to take my shoes off.
you got to take your shoes off. You're like, yeah, we all just spent the next half an hour with no shoes, just walking around.
This teacher's a genius.
But if the whole school does it.
Tiny
like,
blessings.
Every day there's something fun,
Yeah.
and I'm like, God, you don't know how good you had it, because like when I elementary school, like it seemed, and I don't know if I'm misremembering, but like the teachers were miserable.
You weren't a school guy.
They didn't
though,
make
right?
it fun every day.
You weren't a school guy, right?
Well,
I was kind of a school
in
guy.
elementary school, like I think every kid, like actually my son don't want to go to school anymore.
Yeah,
but
see, May loves it, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
but,
she loves
like,
it,
Yeah, she loves it. Like she got like one of her days, she got like some sort of ice cream. She's like, well, they had an ice cream party, and they had like unlimited candy to put on it. And I'm like, all right, that's not learning, but all right.
If you told Maisie you never have to go to school again, would she be disappointed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. My
Yeah,
sons
she
would be the
absolutely would.
happiest
Yeah. She would be upset.
human beings in the
'Cause
world.
it's like her friends,
Yeah.
and then like she's also competitive with it. Like she
Yeah,
likes
she likes it, yeah.
She likes it. She wants to be good at it. Like she's like, I want good grades. I want to be the best.
Oh yeah.
Like it's one of her things. It's like
Oh, my son's.
yeah. She knows her report card. She knows the testing. Like she's like, I got a 5. That's the highest you can get. Some
Yeah,
kids
yeah,
they get
yeah.
3s and they get held back. And I'm like, whoa, where'd you learn that? I don't even know that. This is stuff that Andrea and Maisie
the
know. I
fast
don't know
testing,
any of it.
yeah.
Yeah, fast testing. See,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know what it is. But she's like, I've got a friend. She's like, Billy, he got a 3. She's like, well, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
she's
yeah.
very like.
Oh yeah, my sons I hate it.
Yeah, she's typical only. Let's go with this one right here.
Tom and Dan. Michigan Chuck here. I listen to your show and hear some of these calls that you guys get, and it's like, wow, that kind of sounds like my voice, but it isn't really what it sounds like, because I hear my voice different than I do when I hear myself coming back on the recording, which I absolutely hate. Is that weird, or is it just because of the resonant in my head, or what? I know my voice sucks.
We get a lot of this phone call. I'm not going to make fun of this guy at all, because we get a lot of people over the course of my career of being a broadcaster. There have been multiple times when people call and they like leaving messages because they want to participate, but something about when they hear their own voice, it doesn't sound like them.
Yeah,
You've said this about you, right? Like when you hear you, it doesn't sound like you, or
Well, now I'm used to it from hearing so many recordings in some way, like I was playing a replay. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right,
like,
you're around it a lot.
yeah. Plus, as we talk, we're listening to ourselves in our headphones, so I think we have a little different perspective than normal. But there's a psychology behind you do not hear or see yourself as others do. So I don't know why there's,
That's
like,
terrifying to me for some reason.
so you hear your voice differently than others hear it. You also see yourself differently.
That's
than other
terrifying to me.
people.
Like I've heard that with color. Like I'm holding a Fiji water bottle.
Yeah.
And then I've read in some of these science journals that if I point to this blue Fiji water bottle cap, that the color blue to me
Is different,
Is
yeah.
absolutely, like if I were able to beam myself into your brain right now and I were looking at the same thing, it would look drastically different to me.
Well, we've seen that in the old pink shoe turquoise shoe or whatever, the blue dress, pink dress.
I like the audio one better.
Yeah.
What was it? Laurel?
Laurel Yanny.
Yanny, yeah.
And it's funny that it took that in the internet to prove that people see things different. And we still don't understand.
But I think it's so drastic. Like I think that like this color blue, like in your if I were in your brain looking at it, it would look like red.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's that drastic. I've also another thing that I find interesting, and I saw this on TikTok, or Reels, was have you seen where they have the color wheel and then they drop it all the way down in the bottom of the ocean, so they show you how light affects color as you go down. It's something that you can do when you're diving. You actually see it.
I've seen it when I did the advanced scuba diving Groupon. Like, you get to 100 feet, and there's only, like, reds and something else. You can't see other colors down there.
Yeah, it's neat.
And then you get to a certain point, and there's zero colors, all gray.
Yeah.
And, like, you've seen it. And, like, as you ascend and the light penetrates more of the ocean, like, the colors start coming back. But, yeah, at a certain point, it's like why you see no color in the Titanic or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you bring your own light, I wonder how that
I would
works
imagine if you brought your own light, you would see it.
Yeah. You could see it with your own light, right?
I think it's when it's just the absence of light because it's being degraded by, whatever distance of water above you. Sure. Filtering it out.
Yeah. There's also cognitively, it's different down there. Like, they ask you to remember a lock combination, and then you have to do it at 100 feet, and your brain just works slow. And you don't realize it's slower, but it's slow.
Yeah.
Dude, our brains are so flawed and messed up. Like, the boys are watching one of these YouTube, like,
red is the first to go, rather.
Red is the first to go. Okay, yeah. I knew it was something. I got to get the gist
I
of
was as Clark in our chat room was typing that, I was just thinking to myself, welcome to Tom and Dan, where we talk around things, and we kind of know what we're talking about, but you're going to hear some things, you're going to be like, well, I got that backwards. Just understand that we know we got it backwards.
Yeah.
We just don't have time to go back and fix it.
You get it. The deeper you go, you lose some color. You can't see it anymore. I don't know, red, blue, whatever the hell. Anyway,
I'm kind of sick of everybody nitpicking.
They're like, there's YouTube show. Like, this was on TV at one point where, like, a psychologist will do and show you different tricks. Well, like, for instance, they had a bunch of people stand around and witness a crime, right? And then there's like a guy stole a phone from a lady's purse and then handed it off to another person, and then it happened real fast.
Oh yeah, this was at Rockville.
And then they interviewed everybody individually,
and everyone said he was black.
And
they were like, they're all racist, confirmed.
And then had them like try to pick the person out of a lineup, and then have them write their testimonies down, and then like 2 weeks later, they had them sit on a jury, and then they put in plants that the plants were saying a memory that wasn't true. And the other people, but they said it confidently. Like, I know this lady was wearing a red shirt. I remember it exactly. And then you see the other people, and then...
Well, I do that because I just go along with what other people are saying. Yeah. I'm sort of sheep-like.
And then, but it's like a thing that your brain does. Well, like, they'll hear that, and then they'll plant a memory and be like, oh, yeah. And then you'll believe it to be true. And then they'll be like, would you swear in a testimony in court that this is what you saw? And they're like, yes, I'd swear on this. And then they recount, and it's completely wrong. And
how do they show those people though?
They show them the real video. They show them, and then it's all wrong, and they're like, "Oh my god!" And then they're like, "Oh, these are plants," and like, "Oh,
you know what? Like, I get what they're
horrible.
doing. I get what they're doing.
Yeah,
but I don't want to be a part of your trick because.
But that's how people go to jail like this.
But think of how terrifying it would be. You're one of those things. Remember when ABC News would do these things where we're like, we had 6 wallets with $1,000 inside of them all across New York City to see who's honest.
Yeah.
Don't do that to me. I'm taking the $1,000 all day long, but I'm also honest. It's just I thought you lost your 1,000, and it doesn't make me a bad person.
I'm just saying that the eyewitness testimony is the worst. Your memory is the worst.
Oh, I know mine is.
Yeah, like you should not be trusted. Anything that someone claims.
Although I only remember dumb things. Like Andrew will ask me really dumb things, and I'll be like, "Oh, I know that." Like, what was the name of the ranger that we met in Georgia at the Thomas Van plantation? I'd be, her name was Susie.
Yeah.
I'll know that.
Totally irrelevant nonsense.
What's the password for your email? I got nothing.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here.
Yep.
All right. We will see you tomorrow. So I couldn't remember what show this was.
We'll see you tomorrow. Nice job, buddy.
Perfect. That's
We did
Thursday.
A lot of recording today.
Yeah, we did. Didn't mean to do that much.
Nope. We fell into it.
But, oh, shit.
You good?
Yeah. Went a little long. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, you have a meeting. Well, guys, we got to get out of here. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We appreciate it. We hope you had a good time. You being here was awesome. Sorry for going long today, but yeah, we're kind of keeping it a little loose and willy-nilly. All right, guys.